Do you guys remember? A couple months back, we're talking about the end of ReZero. ReZero is cooked. Why? Well, we actually made a video about it, multiple videos, talking about what's going on. And, you know, they announced that Studio White Fox is getting acquired by another publisher called Alpha Polis. And Alpha Polis is a very interesting one because they actually are the reason why we're getting Gate Season 2. So rejoice. Any Gate fans in here, finally, after all this time, we're getting Gate. And it's gonna be done by Studio White Fox? I think I would, right? Because the whole point of this acquisition is Alpha Polis has a lot of different titles, right? Including Gate and Skimichi Moonlight Fantasy. But it's a new studio. Studio M2, it's a different one. Okay. But like what you need to realize is Alpha Polis has a lot of different titles. And a lot of different titles, not including just Gate, but Re-Monster as well. And lo and behold, Re-Monster Season 2 anime announced. 0 upvotes, 123 comments. What about possibly the greatest alchemist of all time, Season 2 announced? We watched these animes. Check out, right? Check out Re-Monster. If you don't know about Re-Monster, bro, this is an anime about a dude that got reincarnated as a goblin, and he basically goes around. This thumbnail is crazy. What the hell is happening in this thumbnail right now? This is the anime where this dude goes around kidnapping humans, fucks them, makes them have goblin babies, but like it's done in such a benevolent way, right? It's not like Goblin Slayer, or it's not like basically the goblins are low-key good here, right? The goblins are actually pretty like decent, and they're not like morally corrupt monsters that's pillaging villages. Therefore they kind of got away with it. It was a crazy reaction, but go check it out there. But it's crazy that Season 2 announced, because why? Alpha Polis, the publisher who took in White Fox, has many different titles. Look at this shit right here. Gate, Re-Monster, Skimichi Moonlight Fantasy, New Saga. It's crazy that I recognize pretty much 90% of the list. This shit is so fucking mid. And this is not New Gate. This is New Saga, right? This is the regression one. This is like an OG regression one. But there's a lot of mid shit, right? There's the New Gate. Oh my god. Wait. The New Gate, right? There's also New Gate. Remember this shit? This studio that did this anime literally fell apart. After they finished this anime, which wasn't even finishing. Dude, this shit was so fucking bad. Hold up. Episode 12 reaction. Where is this? The finale. God. You know what? Now I'm blaming myself for not fucking putting in the title number for it too. But like, dude, this episode was actually good. Shin versus Gerard, this episode was good. But god damn, this is one of the most dog shit production animes we've seen. What else do they have? They have Goodbye Dragon Life. Anybody remember this? Goodbye Dragon Life. These are actually kind of fun, right? It's kind of fun, but it's also like really mid. And it's crazy that we've checked out so many mid titles that Alpha Polis. Yeah, Goodbye Dragon Life was the one where remember the milk? Kaka TV Dragon Milk. This is crazy. What happens if I type this? Dragon Life Milk. Hold up. A mom is basically Cowgirl offers her milk, bro. In this anime, basically there's like the mom who's a cow who like basically milks her own milk and spreads it around the village, and like we get to taste it. And like her daughter is also coming of age, and we're supposed to like taste her milk too. It was very sus. It was fucking crazy. What other titles are there? Possibly The Greatest Alchemist of All Time. We already watched that. The Great Alchemist again. These are some like 6 out of 10 animes, man. And Onoware Atelier Meister. Oh my fucking god. Anyone recognize that one? Onoware Atelier Meister, the Shota anime. Remember this? Remember this shit? These are just the league of mids. Straight up. The league of mids. Such forgettable seasonal animes that we wrap up with like a 6 out of 10. Like it's usually like as high as 7, most likely a 6, maybe like a high 5, right? That's kind of where it is. And this is why these projects are getting new seasons. Now, I'm glad that Skimichi Moonlit Fantasy and Gate is going to get a new season. And if they are able to use, White Fox, resources, it'd be really cool. But at the same time, isn't it really sad that like projects like this are getting greenlit thanks to the acquisition? And Alpha Polis straight up said, right, during their acquisition article, they specifically mentioned that our goal, our intention is to literally run down our projects using White Fox as, the resource. And we still don't know exactly what's going to happen, right? It's still uncertain. The state of ReZero season 5. Season 4, I think, again, is pretty much in good hands, considering the timing of the acquisition. I think that they have already worked on it a lot. And to think that like the whole season 4 is going to get scrapped, I find that really hard to believe. I think that the ending, right, the tail end of ReZero season 4 may be impacted, if anything was getting impacted. But my opinion is, I think season 5 onwards, things will actually change. Now, the CEO of White Fox has come out, right? CEO of White Fox has come out and basically made an announcement. It's actually crazy that random Twitter retards are also able to rage bait, the White Fox studio to come out and say something. But he said, our goal isn't to throw away ReZero. We're gonna keep, giving this the best quality we can. And there are some other options mentioned in this video, right? About there's like a different team specific for ReZero, right? And that like, even though White Fox is getting taken in, it doesn't mean that like ReZero will just be done dirty. And based on what the, ICE has basically mentioned, right? Talking about White Fox Studio, right? I remember us making a video about that, right? Yeah, this White Fox drama got hilarious. This shit was actually pretty funny. Because Twitter, rage baiters literally was able to get the CEO of White Fox to come out and make a response, talking about this. But they basically said, right, that like, we are not going to give it up. That there's like EasyFox. EasyFox is like the other like subsidiary team that also could work on. But like, it's funny. It's funny that like these kind of projects are getting greenlit. That like these trash are coming in thanks to Alpha Polis coming in. And a lot of people might be happy about Gate. A lot of people might be happy about, Skimichi Moonlit Fantasy. But at the same time, it's like, damn, at what cost, man? This is the reality we live in. What a fucked up timeline. And you know what the best part is? I'm gonna eat this shit up. I'm gonna eat this shit. Gate 2. You're mad about Gate 2? I think of all the different projects that's been greenlit, you should be happy about Gate 2. I'm glad about Gate. I'm glad about Skimichi Moonlit Fantasy coming in. But like Remonster, Honorer Atelier Meister, The Great Alchemist, fuck. But here's the thing. My impressions of these animes are really terrible, right? Because the studios that worked on it and the directors that worked on it, it's not the same. So in a less doomer, perspective, let's think about the positives. Could you imagine that like maybe these are not mid? If they have better studio, better resources, better talent working on it, thanks to Alpha Polis, sending White Fox talent in there, maybe it's actually going to be really good. This is some insane level of cope.